Hello my gamers, and today we want to talk about the Cataclismo. This is a build your own custom tower defense as brick by brick game, and I love it. About 75% of your time is spent dropping blocks, 25% is hitting play and repeating the rewards of your clever construction projects and unit replacement, wiping out masses of minions. It's not just basic square blocks with the edges, of course. There are a host of special units and functional building pieces. Your castle machicolations buff the attack range of the units standing behind them, and they can shoot straight down through them, as well to hit the ones attacking the wall right below. Attack bonus flags, fire arrows, poison bombs, etc. The higher your build, your stone walls, the taller they become, and units on the top can shoot farther. There are windows as well, so you can place the units on every floor, with certain units doing more damage at certain elevations, like the Troller. Chunks bombs for low damage but wide AoE, excels at 0 for 4 meters, and your archer excels at anything above 5 meters. You could just throw down a giant thick wall and be done, although you should resist the perfect wall build temptation for the first 2 or 3 missions. They will end very quickly after a wave or 2 and you won't be able to enjoy your creation to the fullest. But that's up to you. There are 2 main aspects to the game: building your city and defending it properly. Building your city is a balancing act between pursuing exceptional resource growth and ensuring you have enough of a military presence and adequate upgrades to defend when the monsters show up. Here are some tips to help you out. If you build a couple of quarries, you will never run out of stone, and often metal is no issue either. It's nearly constantly topped off with no effort. However, wood gets used up quickly. I run out of wood a lot in earlier levels until I start using 3-4 sawmills. So make sure you have at least one more sawmill than quarries. The second is you can build even at night as long as enemies aren't around the area you're building in. This is very important for the wave-based levels. I have paused and rebuilt my entire defense line when I got a tiny break in the combat for even a second. Make sure you have at least a little bit of wood and metal for the support structures you need. Again, stone typically seems to handle itself. The third is windows are vastly superior to the puppet-like range enhancers you get early on. Windows act like a normal wall and you can build up on top of them to get taller and stronger walls. They also allow you to slap the roofs on the top and basically shield your soldiers from the weather. Oh, that's another thing I'll sneak in here as a tip 3.5. You make sure you always have some type of cover over units it's raining. Ignoring this means chance from the rain is basically like having your army strange. You will lose. Every unit needs cover from the rain. The falls don't sleep on the archways. They do the job of supporting wall while still allowing your people to walk freely through them. Utilizing archways is properly paramount in building efficient structures without the needle-sized blood. The fifth is archers are your bread and butter. Lobbers, capturers, cannoneers and ballista units are great and you definitely want to make sure you have what you need, but archers are super important and take less army supply than other units. The 6 is hunters are more difficult to use properly than archers because they require very tall walls. When you get good at building towers and walls, they are great units, but if you're uncomfortable or get bored easily, building larger structures, hunters don't have much of a benefit. The artistic choice that makes it low poly ensures it runs extremely smoothly with tons of units and chaos going on, but I just personally find it very appealing to look at anyways. It's like a software app gallops with everything having visually rounded edges but still somber and serious in its own. It's only just released, but in early it has a campaign, an endless mode with a randomly generated map very reminiscent of their abilities, and a level editor to make your own and share on the workshop, naturally the very first item made when Helm Deep. There is a blueprint saver builder too, where you create a structure, then drag a selector on the ground that highlights everything inside or above it, and save is to be easily copy-pasted elsewhere. Since air collectors, your currency and pop cap collect more air in the higher up they are. You'll be frequently needed tall slits with the strictures all the way to the ground. This takes the headache of the repeatedly building them. You need 6 to 12 usually. I could see this game is funding itself well to multiplayer and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Warcraft 3 maps make their way to the workshop. You know it's good when your only issue is I want more.